Thanks for tuning in today. We entertain the village and talk about shit we stole. Hey, it's rage and pillage. Interviewing all the players, every place we filled it. Reminiscing on the days that we made it. Killing Burley, no chill, man. Got the Viking mindset. Bring the minds to your buildings, leaving fire behind us. A reminder, we drink till the drink diminish. Give a fuck what you think. Came to rage and pillage. Are you ready?
Oh, hell yeah, motherfuckers. We are fucking back. Tuesday night. Boom. It's your good old pal, your creepy Uncle Burley. And I'm here tonight with some awesome motherfuckers. Booyah's here, friend of the show. Everybody loves this man.
Yeah.
And how you doing, brother? Doing good?
Pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Pretty good.
We're also joined by the very funny comic, stand-up comedian, Sam Miller. Got a podcast called The Tarp Report. He's going on tour called the I'm Bringing My Kids Tour, which is pretty hilarious. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm very busy, but and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this podcast. This should be cool. But then I saw your like theme song and like the opening cartoon, and I was like, I wonder what this podcast is going to be like. And now I know.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna fight in a bar and smoke 1,000 cigarettes.
Hell yeah! I don't even smoke cigarettes. The guy who made that cartoon really took liberties on that shit. So
yeah, he went to town, man. Yeah. Well, Booyah vapes. I saw him vaping earlier.
So there's a little bit of Juggalo energy to that song as well.
Yeah,
like there's a little bit of icy peach with that.
Well, it's okay. I wasn't expecting you to hurt my feelings at this top of the show. All right,
there's nothing wrong with icy
Was that an insult? What's it?
I mean, the Juggalos don't really have a real strong reputation for being classy, huh? I mean,
is that what you were going for?
And this is not a classy
This
podcast.
is a super classy podcast, you know? We got Jesus back there, my pizza Jesus. I don't know if you can see him, but, you know, get a little close up. Shout out to Jesus. We love this guy.
That's my favorite kind of Jesus, actually.
But, hell yeah, man. Dude, taking your kids on tour. What's the thought process behind that?
Trying to mend fences with my wife.
Okay.
Because usually I just go out. I don't know, man. Like stand-up comedy at the level I'm at is a balancing act between like staying married and pursuing my dream. And
yeah,
I do a good job. And I could be Mr. like, oh, like I'm an artist and like everything else, but I put my family first. And also I want them to see what I'm doing out there and what it's like. And we're going to have fun too. So,
are you worried about them hearing some wild shit from like maybe other comedians or anything like that? Or
not really. I don't really care. You know, we do our best to monitor what they're taking in. They're 10 and 12.
Ooh, okay.
They've seen rated R movies like Suicide Squad and stuff like that. They like it. I watch it with them.
Okay.
And I try to talk to them over like the hard parts, but like, I don't know. I think the world comes at young people fast, and I'd rather hear them. You know, obviously, like there's comedians that have like no redeeming qualities at all, but I think even like dirty jokes, like they have a purpose, and I think it's okay for kids to hear dirty jokes.
Dude, I mean, flash back to when we were fucking 10 and 13 or whatever, you know? We were saying some raw shit, I'm sure. Just some of the jokes we'd say to our friends were just horrific. Like in the 90s, we were saying some wild shit that would get us canceled now, for sure.
Yeah.
I miss the 90s.
And also, they play video games. And like they have like we have like parental controls and stuff.
Yeah.
But like they play like this monkey game on their Oculus. And they love it. And I was in a lobby for a couple minutes, and there was like a kid, and he was like Mr. Ballsack 69. I'm like, oh, cool.
In the back of your head, you're like, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder what Mr. Ballsack talks about when they're in the lobby. You know?
Okay, so I have one as well.
Yeah.
Have you discovered the porn yet? The VR porn. It will change your life. It fucks with your brain. It feels almost real.
Really?
It fucks with your brain. It's nuts.
I can just have like real sex though, and that's like,
yeah, dude. But you know what? You know what? It's hard to find three. I don't have enough money for 3 trannies and a weird person in the corner.
That's what you want.
Yeah, you
With
know
VR,
what?
you just gotta imagine that the girl's vagina feels like a man's hand.
Yeah. That's really calloused hands. You know, just. You do some.
I don't want to yuck your yum, you know.
It's 2023. Whatever I like, dude. It's fine.
Yeah, I've had some weird sex. So
what's the weirdest sex? No, probably that one will get you arrested. What's your second weirdest sex?
No, I've never done anything like illegal, but I've been sober for 15 years, and I've just been in some weird stuff. I've been like, I've had people like pay me to watch me have sex with other people.
What?
Stuff like that. So
okay, hold on.
I've had people give me drugs to watch me have sex with other people.
So you're like doing OnlyFans before OnlyFans was a thing.
Yeah, but if OnlyFans paid you in meth, which I don't think they have that set up yet.
I guess the sex of the person doesn't matter, but boy, am I curious. Was it chicks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a joke that's actually really popular, and it kind of blew up online. When I was homeless, I did let a guy blow me one time, but
it is what it is.
I don't know. And that's the thing that's weird is I put it online, and in the joke, I'm like, yeah, I felt straighter after that because I was like, I didn't like it.
Actually, that is
you know for sure.
I've brought this up on the show before. That is the truest thing. Like saying you're not gay but never trying it, you don't really know. You actually know.
I don't like shrimp, and I'm like, have you had a shrimp?
Yeah, exactly. Now you really know. All these people that say that they're straight and they've never tried it, you don't really know. Let's be honest.
Well, I don't know. It's funny because a lot of these jokes that have kind of like made me like, whether I'm like blowing up now or not, a lot of these jokes, that's what they come from, like the horrendous things that happened to me while I was drinking and using, like I can make jokes about letting a fella blow me, but it's actually really sad because like I didn't want to get blown by a fella, I just didn't want to. I was like, I'd rather be gay than like chilly, Like, it was really cold outside.
That might be the name of the episode, dude. Rather be gay than chilly.
Yeah.
Man, that's fucking hilarious. What was your drug of choice?
It kind of bounced back and forth between like alcohol, marijuana, and methamphetamine.
Say meth probably the worst.
Well, what's funny, man, is I would actually say that alcohol
really
was the main issue. Yeah, because I wouldn't use because I knew the methamphetamine always got me in so much trouble, because I'd stay up for days, and I'd have like psychotic breaks, and paranoia, and like not like fun hallucinations, but the ones where like the ones that still feel real as I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
Those kinds.
He's right behind you. Fucking.
Yeah. No.
Like radio.
No, just weird stuff. You wouldn't I could try to like, some of it was just like feeling like I thought for a while that I was like being recruited by like this hippie mafia. Like, I thought there was all these I knew a lot of folks that were involved in like moving marijuana around, and like, I thought that they were like trying to hire me to help them, but I had to like solve these intricate puzzles.
Oh shit!
And like fight cops and shit. It was wild, and I never solved any puzzles, but I did fight some cops.
It's like you were out doing quests,
Yeah, I was. And it was weird because like I'd look at I'd see like a license plate and then like a street sign. And then I was living in this barn, and I had like this pencil, right? And I would like a carpenter's pencil, and I was like writing all this stuff on the beams of the barn. And part of me was like trying to figure out this stuff. But I also thought that like it'd be cool if I wrote a bunch of cool stuff in the barn, because then the next person who lived in the barn would be like, wow, there's a really cool person living in this barn before I moved in, which is stupid.
I'm just from A Beautiful Mind. Really good.
Yeah, I had seen that movie. Yeah.
Dude,
I saw it because that movie came out while I was still getting high, I think, or I saw it. But yeah, like I really like sometimes it's like, yeah, like I wanted everything to be connected, but like the way I went about it was just stupid. Like none of the stuff was connected. I'd be like, I'd see like a road sign, and then I found a cell phone, and the guy was just trying to get his phone back, and he knew who I was. He'd be like, Sam, give me my goddamn phone. And I'd be like, what does this mean? And then I'd close it. He was really frustrated.
do you know what this
God?
Yeah. It's did y'all ever see that movie, that Jim Carrey movie with the number 23? Where he saw the number 23 and everything? That's what this is kind of reminding me of. Just like fucking sees it and everything, he loses his shit over. That's wild, bro. That
stuff is wild, and it, you know, if you want to go to the edge and like take a look over, like it's pretty easy to do that. But then to take that step, and like that's what happened with me and like my drug use, is that I took that step into like where I got incarcerated a lot.
Yeah.
I wound up on the streets, and I wound up like losing pieces of myself that some of them I still haven't gotten back. Like I still don't act. I can't remember how I used to think before.
That's
but
wild.
I know it's different. So
I mean, I had a powder problem probably about shit. Now, how long have I been married? Right before I got married, went about a year and a half of doing an 8-ball a day. Of just the shittiest coke you could find. It was $100 of 8-ball, so it was just mostly Baby Lex. Whenever you look at yourself in the mirror because you're snorting water up your nose to clear your nose so you can do more, it's just like I probably should. You know, I still can't watch the movie Blow because it makes me fucking fiend for it. I'm just like, I mean, I liked cocaine probably more than I liked methamphetamine. However, I had a budget. Yeah.
And, I stuck to it.
That was me, dude. I knew how much I could withdraw before the bank would quit overdrafting me. So I would just withdraw it all at once, you know? Mm-hmm. And I figured out how to be able to afford my 8-ball a day. I wasn't eating nothing. It was wild. So
yeah, that's how it sneaks up on you.
But you ever had any problems, Booyah? Yeah.
Well, I did accidentally do meth once.
I've done that. It hurts.
Which I feel like it's relatively common. I'm sure, you had the blow issue. Like that happens.
Yeah.
You think you acquire one thing. They're very similar in color and, physical appearance. And then, but like, I was at that level of fucked up where I was like, mentally will this to be blow instead of what I know it probably is.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So I'm like, I was like, I'm so drunk. I'm just like, no. If I think hard enough, like it'll just be that. And then it was 3 days of no sleep. And I'm just like on Facebook or MySpace or whatever it was at the time. And just like, even like food wasn't cool. Like I went to Jack in the Box and I got like a bacon ultimate cheeseburger, like all my favorite shit. I'm just like, why does this suck? Like, yeah.
I like that you were like trying to do alchemy. You were like, I really want this meth to be coke. Maybe if I believe,
If we clap our hands enough, Tinkerbell will become,
Yeah.
That's fucking.
I've been there, man.
That's wild, dude. Like, wait, who's screaming? Somebody getting beat up?
Yeah. Do I hear a child? Not me.
Okay. Somebody's I didn't think you had kids, Booyah. Wait, hold on. What's going on over there?
Mom's supposed to be taking her here in a minute.
Oh, okay.
She's doing her. It's fine. She doesn't really know yet. So.
Oh, okay, cool. You haven't taught her about meth yet?
She's probably got like the oven on and like.
Yeah.
Like, she just put a gas can in the oven and closed it up and was like, hey.
So, how many times do you think you've been arrested, dude?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of times.
I've only been incarcerated one time, and I was out past curfew. I was in a drunk tank, so I don't know what that's like.
I never did any prison time, but I did a lot of jail time over the span of like 4 or 5 years. So I don't know. Probably been arrested 20 times. Something like that. Yeah.
When did you decide it was time for comedy?
I was I got sober in 2008, and I was sober. I started comedy in 2014, so I was 6 years sober. A lot of times when people ask me questions, by the way, it's kind of weird. I'm not really good at understanding how time works, but a lot of times I'll tell you things by like how long I was sober when it happened. So I started comedy when I was about 6 years sober. I got married when I was like 3 years sober. I had a baby when I was 2 years sober. I met my wife when I was 4 months sober. I'm 15 years sober now.
Hell yeah. Now I feel like a beautiful mind. There's a lot of numbers flying at me.
There's a lot of numbers, man. The world's mostly just numbers.
It's just fucking, It's hurting my head.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into comedy? Was this something you were just a fan of, or somebody tell you to do it, or?
Dude, people were telling me to do it. That's why it was really frustrating, man, because like I had so much to learn about stand-up because I wasn't taking in a lot of stand-up, man. Like the stand-up comedy that I took in, honestly, was like some Comedy Central shorts or whatever, like the little 20-minute deals. And then I used to watch Comic View on BET a lot, and I think my dad, he really loved Victor Borgia.
Okay.
Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, I know the name, yeah.
He's like the piano player guy. I still think he's great. He's really funny. It's really wild. He did all these PBS specials. Dude, he could sell out any theater in America real quick. He had like a huge fan base because he was like a big radio guy back in the day. But yeah, people, especially other people I knew in recovery, said, hey, you should do stand-up. You should do stand-up. And I had some public speaking experience because of like recovery things. And they'd be like, we want you to talk in front of all these people. And so I've just been, I've been a funny guy for a long time. Some of it isn't really in my control. It's just kind of how I look at stuff. And then the first time I did stand-up comedy, so I was walking down the street. People have been telling me to do comedy.
Yeah.
I'm walking down the street in downtown Olympia, past this place called the 1230 Room. It was like a little nightclub in downtown Olympia. And I recognized a couple people, because I was a bouncer downtown, so I knew a lot That
seems like something I was about to ask you, have you ever done any bouncing? 6'6", 3+, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Anyway, I walked by and I heard him doing stand up, and I was like, oh man, fuck it, whatever. I'll just give it a shot, And then it's strange because I went into it so nonchalantly, like, oh, I'll just see what it's like,
Did you write a bunch beforehand for your first open mic or whatever?
No, I was just told a story about.
Really?
Yeah. It's funny because I don't do it on stage. The story's pretty great, actually. I saw that you guys do these the rage and pillage questions.
Yeah.
And I have a bonus one for you, man.
Hell yeah!
But basically, man, I went up on stage. Like he was like, "Hey, I'll put you up after the next comic." Like he actually let me. Like there's not a lot of people that bump somebody at their first open mic.
No shit.
But I guess he knew me from around, and he just wanted to see what would happen. And man, I went up and I got some laughs out the gate. And while I was up there, I was like, oh, okay, so you do a joke, you wait for a laugh, like stand-up comedy, like this is what it is. But like when I did it, like a switch flipped. And honestly, it's the same switch that flipped the first time I did drugs.
No shit.
And there's no going back. Like stand-up comedy is like this is who I am. It's not like some shit that I do.
Hell yeah, dude.
I don't have.
You think the this like having that like extra switch, that switch over, like it's kind of like almost a replacement? Like, is that one, like a lot of guys get into like working out or things like that? Is it like, help you like get away from relapses or whatever?
Sure, but it's that and some other stuff too. Like it's that, but it's not just that. Like I can't even all the way explain it. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But that it's basically like it's like a rocket ship, and off we go. Off we go.
What was it that really? I mean, because now you're going on. I saw your tour list. The amount of cities is pretty fucking large that you've booked, dude. And when did that happen? Was there something? Did you upload something, or it just happen organically, or what?
Yeah,
what
so
happened?
I started getting, actually before the pandemic, I had some good momentum. They had done this newspaper story. I had built up like a decent Facebook following. I really wasn't messing with Instagram. I've never been a Twitter guy. It just weirded me out.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me get my dog out of here. My dog's barking.
Okay,
my family just got home. Sorry. Y'all vamp.
Okay,
Y'all vamp. Talk in Spanish or something.
Okay. So I had some momentum. The big newspaper article had come out in the Seattle Times about me and homelessness and comedy. And I was on this pretty popular podcast. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting booked on some better stuff. And then boom, COVID hits. And I had a really hard time. I went back to my old job at the homeless shelter that I had worked at before. I was going to quit my job. I was going to go full time in June of 2020. COVID hits, everything goes sideways.
Oh shit.
And then when I went full time, I kind of treaded water just in the Northwest. Because like I've been able to make like okay money in the Northwest doing comedy for a while. Like people know who I am out here. Like I have like a decent fan base, and I have a lot of producers that know that they can put me in front of any crowd, and I'll probably do pretty well.
Hell yeah.
Like, to you guys, like I'm kind of like a newer comic, but I am. I'm 9 years in, and I've been doing it at a high level for 4 or 5 years.
Anybody that I see that has an actual tour lined up, you're doing it at a high level, because I know a lot of comedians that are that I think are very funny that are only hitting small mics, 7 minutes a night or some shit, Yeah.
So, but to answer your question, I did a show in Chicago, and I told a joke about me pretending to be a semi-truck while I'm fucking my wife. And shit, it wound up it's weird because like it was posted. So he posted it on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
But his Instagram was linked to his Facebook page. His Facebook page, it's called The Humboldt Jungle. It's a great show in Chicago, right? Anyway, his Instagram is linked to his Facebook page. He didn't even know the reel had posted to Facebook, right?
Really?
And anyway, I'm at Legoland with the kids, right? Just minding my own business, doing my thing, and all of a sudden, I got a message that was like, "Hey, man, I just saw your video. It's crazy, 3 million views." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because I don't have anything with 3 million views. And then I was like, "Hey, send me a link." And by the time I looked at it, it was already at like 5 million.
Golly.
So it wound up at, I think it's like 8.3 million last time I looked. And he linked back to my page. And then also like, there was a moment, maybe, I don't know, like a year ago, where Nate Jackson, who's a great comedian, especially on TikTok, he's huge on TikTok, and he owns a comedy club in Tacoma. He's fantastic. He's like a Northwest legend, man, and works nationally. He was on Wild and Out. He's been on Curb Your Enthusiasm and stuff. Dude's done a lot. And he called me out, basically. And I don't like getting called out. Nobody does. But he made a good point. He was like, what are you doing? Like you don't have a website. You don't You're not doing nothing.
Black dude, right?
Yeah.
I recognize this cat. Okay.
Yeah, he's great. But anyway, I started doing reels, and then now I think I've got maybe 4 or 5 videos that have gotten over 2 million views, and like
I'm doing sick.
TikTok is kind of dragging a little bit, but I got my first million view on Instagram, but my Facebook page is doing really good, and I have, I think, 53,000 followers, and like routinely have videos that get over 1 million views. It's pretty cool.
Well, you sound like this guy below me with all of his fucking fancy food and shit.
No. I wish I had that on Facebook, because dude, Facebook pays. Instagram, TikTok, they're not really paying you, but Facebook, YouTube, they'll cut you checks.
Dude, I'll tell people, man, I got $1,300 from Facebook 1 month, so that's crazy.
Yeah, fucking sick. I'll take it.
Yeah, nobody likes to talk about money, but I think it's funny when we do.
Oh, I'm okay with it. I'm fucking fine because I make none of it. I'm in debt for this fucking podcast.
My margins.
We're like social media guys, so like, so like that, like I love talking money with it. It's like, how do I get more? What do I do? Like,
I'm just riding the wave, man. I'm just trying to make sure that I balance like being a good dad and a good husband.
That's got to be the tough part, being on the road all the time, right?
Yeah, sort of, man. But it's also like, that's also like a reward for me.
Yeah.
Like the hard part is adjusting. So like the first 2 days when I'm on the road are hard, and the first couple days when I get back home are hard.
Really?
I love being out on the road, and I love being at home.
No shit.
Those are 2 parts of myself that I really enjoy.
I would, this is just me talking out of my ass, but in my head, I'm thinking like, especially because you're sober and everything. So you're not out partying and then passing out at the end of the night. Right. So then now you're in a hotel room, not with your family or something. Does that fuck with you at all? Or?
A lot of times,
if this is too real, just tell me to shut the fuck up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, everybody knows I let a dude blow me. I'm not too worried if they know what I do in hotel rooms after shows. I think we'll be all right, Burley.
Yeah, all right, works. That works.
I don't know, man. There's a vibe, right? So, like, basically, as far as me and drugs and alcohol go, is it like, I've done enough. Like, I've kind of had my fill. And also, like, I'm involved in like recovery. Like, I'm proactive.
Yeah.
And I'm in therapy, I think more comics should do it and take, because a lot of comics I know, they're like, comedy is my therapy. And I'm like, you have 4 ex-wives and let your kids talk to you. So like, maybe you should do some more.
So you've lived it, man. Is there truth to? I think what I heard was, or what I hear as the consensus is like 95% of all comics have had some sort of fucked up life prior to becoming a comedian. Is that pretty true?
Yeah. Like, I'm funny because I had to be funny because I didn't have anything else.
Well, welcome to my life. Get out of my head, Sam.
Yeah, when you get locked up, or when I was on the streets, man, like I don't know, man. Well, what it comes down to is that if I can make people laugh, that means they're not going to leave me.
Right.
So like, what it essentially, like, humor is me battling I have a fear of abandonment, and humor allows me to take control and to relax.
Yeah.
So like, if I can get people to laugh, then I know but what's cool is now, like, I don't have to make people laugh all the time, because I've learned over the years, after being sober this long, that people kind of like me. So
you can turn it off.
Yeah, like I'm doing right now. Like, I'm not trying to be funny right now.
Yeah, I have a hard time turning it off, even in my like regular family life. Like, I have a hard time with that shit, right? I'm always on. Yeah. Always. Just what you see right now is a lot of what my wife has to put up with. I don't know how I tricked that broad into marrying me. But But yeah, man.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm you know what's weird, man, is that sometimes I feel like I'm the luckiest dude in the world because like I kind of know what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
And then I have a choice every day to like do something about it or I can fuck off and like ruin my life. And so I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll go talk to a therapist and I'll do cardio, you know, and then I'll send out emails, whatever the fuck.
I've thought about therapy 1,000 times. Booyah, you ever been to therapy?
No, but I did get a motorcycle.
Well,
there's a lot of T-shirts that say that that's the same thing. I'm not sure if that's true. But
I saw Sons of Anarchy. It seemed pretty stressful. So
it doesn't seem like
yeah.
I got my motorcycle. It didn't like come with meth. I thought that was going to be what happened.
Come with a leather vest.
But it's also, but like
when you fill up your bike like with gas, do you also like talk into the gas tank and you're like I'm scared of intimacy.
Yeah.
So somehow your bike lets you know you were molested.
I can only get.
Yeah. I don't want anybody to get too close. I don't know, man. Like, honestly, man, it's 2023 and we can say like whatever societal trends are afoot at any one time. But basically, like, I don't mess with anybody. Like, I don't have anybody in my circle that doesn't think that they can improve themselves on a daily basis. I'm not trying to be like Mr. Tony Robbins here.
Oh, no. You're like, Gary V.
Whole, like,
you're Gary V.
You know what I mean? Like, the whole, like, fucking, like, oh, like, if you don't like it, like, oh, fuck your feelings or whatever, like, I'm not hip to that. I'm not hip to comedy like that. And I'm not hip to people like that. And I don't have to be. It doesn't matter. I get to do my own thing, you know? Like,
you know what's holding me back from therapy is goddamn, it's expensive, dude. It's fucking expensive.
I don't know, man. I pay 100, like, I could get it through my insurance a little bit cheaper, but I pay somebody, it's like $150 a week, you know? And like,
that's expensive.
That's a chunk of change. Yeah, it is. But I mean, also like, I probably spend that much on V-Bucks for my kids or something. Not $150 a week, but you know, like a bunch of little stuff adds up.
I didn't think about that.
My Amazon orders, like my Amazon and Taco Bell together probably equal that amount. Like I tend to look at things. If I'm going to order something, I'm like, I spend that much at Taco Bell in one visit. So that's what, a monthly thing? Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I went into the doctor yesterday and I was trying to get on that Ozempic shit. Y'all heard about that? Yeah. So
I know people that are on it.
So the doctor's like, if your insurance doesn't take it, it's $1,200 a month. I'm like, then I won't be getting it, you know? And so really hoping on that. But like the thought that there's so many people on it, apparently it's hard to get right now. There's so many people on it and most insurance don't take it. So there's that many people that are willing to pay $1,200 a month to be on this shit. It's fucking wild.
Is Ozempic, fill me in. Like is Ozempic
it's that miracle drug for fatties.
A diabetes one, but
yeah.
No, it was it was a diabetes medication, but it lowers.
I think I heard like Whitney Cummings talking about it like a year ago, and she's like, "Everyone's going to be on this in like 6 months." And then now I'm here.
I was trying. Yeah, I'm trying pretty hard. I'm trying to lose some of this. It's funny. I wish I had. This is not my paperwork, but it's in my car. But I get my shit back from the doctor. I look like I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying all the time. All my vitals are good. Fucking blood pressure, all that shit. The only thing he's like, you have a fatty liver. You probably need to lose some weight. That's why I'm coming to you, bro. To figure it out. Give me something. Give me those speed pills that people always talked about. You know, like nobody ever offered me that good stuff.
I do 30 minutes of hard cardio every other day, and in 6 months I cut my triglycerides in half.
I eat healthy, dude. I eat nice. I have probably once a week I have a cheat meal. It's 100% this. Yeah. You know. And then I have a stressful job, so at the end of the day I like to have a few of these, and then on the podcast have too many of these, and then on the weekend I go hard. You know, it is what it is. At least I can tell my wife, at least I'm not an angry drunk. You know, I like to have fun. You know, I'm going to try to fuck her after this. So
it's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's like what Sam was saying earlier about how you know, meth illegal, you get in a lot of trouble and stuff. How this was the real problem. And it's true. Like it's worse for your body than
for sure
anything else. Like this shit is, and it's just natural that everyone just does it. But it is like pretty much the worst poison.
The amount of times I've one-eyed my way home is like I've had to stop that. It's been about 2 or 3 years since I've done that. But whenever you don't realize how you got home, you're just one-eyeing it. We used to do this thing where you would if you rest your elbow on your leg and grab the wheel, keep it at 12 o'clock. That means you're going straight the whole time. So that's what you do, you know.
It was cheat codes?
Yeah, we figured out cheat codes. Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I always say to folks, if they want to think about these decisions and stuff, is that if you look at it like how much alcohol gives you, because it is fun. And I don't regret shit, man. I'm glad I did meth, honestly. Like I don't really care what people think anymore.
Right.
I hated the way I felt and how I related to the world. And when I was high, it made it a lot easier. And then eventually it started taking away like a lot more than I was giving me. And then I kept doing it for a few years because I was scared to stop.
How many years were you a hardcore user?
Exploded. Of methamphetamine?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say because it was like over an 8-year period off and on.
Okay.
But most of those offs were like either I was incarcerated, I was in rehab, I went to Job Corps, and I worked for the Forest Service. So out of Job Corps, I got a job with the Forest Service. And then honestly, I really did methamphetamine probably like honestly over that 8 years. There's probably like 3 years of like really like heavy use.
And that was enough.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the rest of the time I was dealing with the effects, you know, the like being on the streets and like having to go to Job Corps, you know, like the Job Corps I went to is rougher than a lot of the places I was locked up at, you know, like it was crazy, man. It was a wild place, you know.
So like growing up, I was around, my dad ran a rehab growing up. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard all the craziest fucking stories, but when you're a teenager, they sound fucking wild, you know, like these guys are telling me stories that sound fun. They're only telling you the fun shit, right? They're not talking about getting blown by a dude under a bridge, you know. They're talking about, you know, like these chicks were smoking just shit and fucking sucking my dick. I'm like, this sounds amazing. So as soon as I got out of high school, I'm like, I want to try everything. And that's what happened, you know. Just like,
so your dad ran a rehab and you're like, I can't wait.
Dude, when I first got with my wife, she was scared to come over because, you know, it started off with these guys moved into my home because my dad didn't have a building for the rehab yet. So he was just moving people off the streets right into our home, you know.
Where his family is?
Where I grew up. Yeah. Dude. I grew up around drug addict. Every Christmas, they didn't have anywhere to go. They were at our house. You know, my dad really cared, right? He still does.
Yeah.
But you learn a lot of wild shit. You know, I can make a spread pretty well, you know, just based off what these guys have taught me. You know, I know about corner politics. If you're ever homeless, there's politics to owning your corner. If that's your corner, you will live and die by that corner. You know, that type of shit, you know? So it was pretty wild to grow up around that. But like, I know when we had our first kid, you know, my wife was super, I was like, dude, they're not child molesters. They're just drug addicts, you know? And then whenever they're off the shit, they're fucking good people. You know, it's just, you know, most of them anyways, you know?
I would argue that a lot of folks too, man, when they're on this shit are good people.
Yeah.
You just have to be smart, you know?
Correct.
Like, I got a lot of friends of mine that still get high. I didn't cut them off, but naturally we kind of drifted apart.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to change diapers. I don't want to like smoke meth out of light bulbs. So it works out. Like, but it's funny. You got to have good boundaries though. Like I'm down to hang out, but like, I'm not going to let folks I'm not going to let dude borrow my laptop or something.
Yeah.
And they don't ask me either, man. They have, you know, you'd be surprised, man. Like the kind of folks I used to run with, like they're pumped for me, man. I get so much support from so many people, dude. Like they get such a dude, like cats that I used to get high with, cats that I was locked up with. They see like what's happening with the comedy and they're like so pumped for me, man. And it's funny because to me, it doesn't just feel like it's me. It feels like it's us.
Yeah.
Like my success is kind of like our success. It's kind of like anytime I read a new crazy joke about like meth or jail or homelessness or whatever, like, and I get it to hit, it's like a celebration, you know? Yeah. It's like, honestly, dude, like the way this world is set up, like I'm not going to get political or anything, but like the way this world is set up, man, like they want you to be locked up. Like they need like a certain amount of people in prison to justify the prison's existence.
It's privatized and all that shit.
Like, yeah. Yeah. It's like any business, any government agency, like they want it to exist. And like my success in me staying off of drugs is like sometimes I stayed sober back in the day because it felt like revenge, you know, like I felt like I was really like throwing them for a loop because I didn't think I'd ever get sober, you know. I didn't have a plan.
I remember having those thoughts. I was just sitting there like, I could do coke the rest of my life. It's fine, you know. Just like it's all good, you know.
I always say this, man, and like, you know, we talk about like I know that like shit's crazy outside and like there is a lot more like on the street, like visible homelessness.
Yeah.
But there was a recession in 2008 and it really messed up everything. And everybody's like, oh, there was a recovery. And I'm like, was there? Like, it seems like there was a recovery for some people, but it seems like the people that benefited from our economic recovery in 2008 were the people that didn't need a recovery at all. They were already fine. They've always been fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so, I mean, I'm in Texas, man, and that we didn't really see a whole lot of that here. This is all oil field shit, right? So, and then Texas is really weird about they don't like seeing homeless people, so they shove them in shelters and shit like that, right? Like they're pretty hardcore about it. But over on the West Coast, I can't remember exactly where you're at, Booyah, but I mean, is there a homeless situation there where you're at? Like, that's pretty bad, or?
Oh yeah,
really?
Well, I'm right next to San Francisco.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
One of the worst, you know. But over here, it's like they can't really get them into the shelters because they require them to stop using if they go into a shelter, and they're like, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, there's programs to like get them in hotel rooms, get them in these different things like that. But it's like
you got to stay clean.
Them to basically go through a withdrawal or something,
right?
And not help them out with it. Like
no shit.
Yeah, the reality of the situation, man, is there's you know, everybody wants to be like, oh, we got these homeless people. That's too simple, man. There's 1,000 different things that people do to become homeless. And there's 1,000 solutions for each person. And also, like, man, it is so hard to get clean if you're fucking on the streets, dude.
Yeah.
And also, it's funny too, man, because a lot of the people, like in Olympia, right? Like, there's this girl, I'm not going to bring up her name, and I feel like I shouldn't even talk about this because it's funny because they messaged me because I was like vague booking one day.
Yeah.
And she was like, these homeless people are out of control. I don't feel safe downtown. And I'm like, that's weird because I was a bouncer for 4 years and I saw you drive drunk probably 200 times.
So much.
I honestly, I don't feel safe next to you. And you know what's crazy too is like, so they'll have these fires, right? And these encampments, right? And everybody's like, these homeless people are, they're like lighting their shit on fire, you know? And I'm like, yeah, they're heating it with propane. And then that's the thing. Like I got kicked off this site because I thought it was really funny. Whenever there was a house fire, I was like, all these housed people, they just can't handle themselves.
Can't control your house. Come on.
Yeah. Anytime it was found out that some rich lawyer was a pedophile, I'm like, what are we going to do about these housed people?
These homed people.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy people, have y'all been keeping up with this whole like Bam Margera shit that's been going on?
Yeah, that shit's sad, man. I can't watch it.
Dude, it's wild.
I like how that it's kind of like Bam is obviously like not a good place. I know that there was that Epically Latered was that show. It was like a Vice thing or something.
Yeah.
And it was about his recovery and it was really great. It was awesome. I remember like a week after it aired, he was actually in the town right next to mine, Vacaville. They're like, hey, Bam's over in Vacaville. And he's just tearing shit up at Cheers and, like these local
Oh, really?
It's like, oh, man. Because it's like by the time it aired, like he was already off. And then, but I like how Steve-O is like using it as a way to just like push his skateboard.
So, yeah, I saw that.
It's like a beef, but Steve-O is just like, hey, these.
I have skateboards, man. It's wild. And then
I'm not surprised. I mean, this is like, it's par for the course. I would also argue though, man, this Sam Miller hot take is it like, man, Bam's living his life and like us watching it has as much to do with his downfall as the drugs probably,
Well, dude, whenever those guys enabled him and were like, yeah, you should make a beef track, making fun of I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, that's been Bam since we've seen him since a teenager. Like he's needed eyes on him his whole life. Like, he needs that. That's the biggest thing of him. Like all the gnarly stuff we've seen him do to his own family and stuff like that. Like it's
I think what's that shit called? Like, Arrested Development, right? It's Arrested Development. He's been famous since he was 17.
Yeah.
The dude never fucking grew. He still dresses like he did in fucking, the early days. He's wearing capes and
shit.
If
anything, he's got more jewelry now. Rappers, he's got way more.
He's one of those guys where it's hard for me to feel bad for him because everybody's tried to help him. Does that make sense? I
feel bad for him because like but that's still like there's still obviously a huge battle going on inside him, and it's been going on since for probably most of his life, and it like came to the surface after his homie Ryan Dunn probably.
Yeah, like, but at the same time, is
it just sucks that it's so public. It's just everyone's got eyes on like his.
Yeah, especially like TikTok and Reels. I think they've really changed social media and the way we're taking it in, and like the algorithms. I know they've changed stand-up comedy.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
With me and you
would not be talking if there wasn't for Reels,
Oh yeah. Sure. I know. It's funny too. Cause like, what's weird is I was always like, man, I can't get these TikTok videos I finally got a TikTok to break 1 million, and it's me dealing with a heckler, and that's the one that hit. So.
Okay. Sorry to pivot so hard, but
no,
do you feel like the crowd work shit that seems to be what everybody's uploading now, do you think it's a little cheap?
What's funny about that shit, man, is it like the videos that do really well are generally like funny people that
they have better jokes, I think.
They have better jokes. Yeah. And so that's done a lot of what I think is funny is that a lot of comedians, I think they think there's like some shortcut and they can jump the line. But you know what? It's the same as like at a show. Like what you put online, people are going to watch it and they're going to share it. They're going to react. They're going to comment, or they're not. And the reason why my videos more than anything do really well is because I'm funny.
100%.
And the reason why I'm funny is because like I've worked really hard. And so like there's no Like the only shortcut I think there really is like you could have like make friends with like a more established comedian and have them like help you out. But even then, man, it's like sink or swim, motherfucker. There's the crowd, you know. That's one of the reasons comedy is so dope. Is it's like, all right, like, you know, it's like sports in that way. Like you can run your mouth all you want, and then there's a crowd, man. Let's see what you got, you know.
My biggest gripe with the skipping the line, like you just said, is I got to word this correctly because I do not want y'all to think I'm shitting on this man. But that Matt Rife, right?
Oh man,
he never really uploads jokes. It's all crowd work. And then I watched his special and I was like, he's a newer comedian. He's clearly, his writing isn't as on par as it should be, but his crowd work is great. And I like him. He's really good looking, you know, fucking, you know. Do you know who Matt Rife is, Booyah? Huh?
Is that young cat?
Younger, like real handsome dude. He's got a jawline I go down on my mother for.
So
yeah.
He was, you're going to love this, Burley, is that I'll push back on that a little bit because I know Matt. I've worked with Matt. I haven't watched his special, just not because I don't want to. I don't watch anybody's comedy.
Yeah, you're comedied up. I get it.
Yeah. But his work ethic and the material that I saw him do when I was working with him, it was working in those clubs.
Really? Okay.
You know? Yeah, because here's the thing: is it sometimes I think there's a certain comedian that you like, and maybe you like somebody who's kind of like more like me, that's like kind of pushing some sort of boundaries or like is doing something unique. But what the proof is in the pudding, right? And that man was on Wild 'N Out. Yeah, that's
why I wanted to reiterate: I'm not shitting on this man. Because it makes me sound like a hater that he's successful. I do not want people to think that the dude is killing it. Fucking good for him. Yeah. You know.
But check this out. So when I did work with him, right? So he was at Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club, which is my favorite comedy club. That and Comedy Bar up in Seattle. Shout out Comedy Bar. I did a guest spot because I had a show earlier. I had a show in Puyallup that night, and I could stop by Tacoma on the way. And I stopped and I did a guest spot, and then he invited me to come back and do another guest spot on Sunday.
Hell yeah!
And he was very nice, and also there wasn't like he wasn't drawing like that, but he still had that work ethic, and he was still giving those people the best he could. And also, like I don't think there's that many people that blow up that didn't do at least some of the work.
You know? For sure. Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. But I hear what you're saying though. I don't think you're shitting on him.
It's the crowd work thing.
I also feel like crowd work would actually, like, if you look at it from like a content creator standpoint, it's probably a good way to be releasing consistent content without having to put out your actual
to burn your bits or whatever. Yeah.
That part. And also us as comedians, man, like we don't have a lot of power over over that algorithm, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I've noticed is that TikTok definitely likes the crowd work, but I feel like Facebook, my regular videos do better. Like I don't have like a lot of crowd work or heckler stuff out there. But it's definitely where like TikTok was all over it. Like the other.
You posted something either today or yesterday that was pretty fucking funny. Where a dude was just like, you know, is it the motion of the ocean or something like that, right? And you just
that was awesome.
That was pretty fucking solid, man. That's the shit I like to see, man. Like crowd work. I mean, it could go either way. You know, there are tricks to it. Don't say there's not. There are tricks to it. You can lead things a certain way, you know.
Also,
no, that was in San Diego.
6'6", 300. You know.
Yeah.
No, I just got back from San Diego. I was out there doing a show for the Navy, and I did a show called Going Dutch, where you basically do a comedy set, and then after the set, you go up on stage and people ask like questions about dating or whatever.
Yeah.
And man, I killed that shit, bro.
No shit.
Like somebody asked, they were like, what is it? The motion of the ocean or the size of the boat? And I was like, I got lost in a boat one time, and it was just in a yard, you know.
That shit, dude, I watched that right before you hopped on the show, and I was like, that shit's pretty fucking funny. I don't know how I missed that. I'm
hoping that one takes off. So.
It's pretty fucking solid.
Oh my god, I want to throw my phone through a freaking wall.
So, you getting that many DMs?
No, just freaking. Speaking of people. Like people just asking me for stuff.
Okay.
They're not. Yeah. They're like, hey, I've been doing this and that. I'd love to. And I'm like, well, how about I burn down your house?
So are a lot of people asking you to, let me do a spot for you and shit like that? Yeah. Like on the road.
Most of them know what the score is, and that, I'm still like the margins are thin between me and like not making it. And I don't have a lot of say into who opens for me. I'm still doing a lot of stuff in the Northwest and I love it. I work a lot for Solo Wit and this guy named Ty Boyce. I work for him a lot. Cozy Comedy, I work for them a lot. Work for, I'm going to be headlining at Nate Jackson's again this Thanksgiving. And that's like a 300-person club, man. Like, that's the funny thing, man, is people like, man, like I do like theaters out here and stuff. Like it's pretty crazy, man.
Is the comedy scene pretty solid out there?
Yeah, it is, but I got to be careful because I'm like overexposed, so I have to watch myself because I have to write a bunch of new jokes all the time. And it's hard because I like when I write, like what'll happen is like, I probably only write like one joke a month, but all my jokes are like 25 minutes. So it works out. So.
Oh, you're a hardcore storyteller. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so. Now this is going to be a weird comparison. Whenever you're cooking something, right? Do you write out how you're going to film that shit? You got a fancy ass camera. Looks like you're shooting at 4K, like a goddamn, Francis Ford Coppola. Did you check out Booyah at Awesome?
I didn't.
Yeah, he's got some fucking.
I saw his message before the podcast, but like I said, my deal. I'm not even gonna lie. Like today, and like so, I got back from San Diego. I think late Saturday night, and then what did I can't even remember what happened. I don't know what happened the last 2 days. I've been, I was at the river. I was doing river stuff. And then today I've been doing internet stuff. And then I got to go roll t-shirts after I'm done.
Are you making your own t-shirts?
I have a guy. Yeah. Okay. I have a guy who prints my shirts. I'm going to start doing some print on demand stuff and doing some different designs.
That's the move.
Kind of like take advantage of the internet stuff. But as far as the t-shirts that I sell on the road, man, I got a guy and we've been working together for a long time. Man, I got other stuff, man. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff I'm working on, man. My whole rule of like kind of surrounding myself with like other types of creative folks.
Yeah.
So like I hang out with comedians and some of my best friends are comedians, but I also hang out with like poets and cartoonists and rappers and dancers.
Hold on,
stuff.
Poets?
And, yeah, dude. Yeah.
There are poets nowadays?
Yeah, dude. They're pretty. Poetry is still a popular form of art, and I would argue that
not in Texas. So you got to explain this shit to me. Up in the hippieville where y'all are.
I know a cowboy poet.
Yeah, but is he in Seattle?
Nice.
No, he's out in the middle of nowhere in Washington State.
Oh, okay. He's in Washington. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah,
down in the South, you some sort of queer,
I dare you. No, check it out. Poetry is funny because it used to not be considered like something that was like feminine. There's very masculine poets like Robert Frost.
Yeah. No, I understand. I appreciate it, but I did not know that was still a thing. That's the point I'm making. Sure.
I bet Texas has a poet laureate, and I bet he's got a big old hat on. All right, I bet his poems are about how beautiful horses.
Texas.
She shimmers in the winter, something like that. You're Googling it right now.
I am. Right now. It's a lot of shit I never. Oh, they're all dead. Hold on. We do have a Naomi.
That's very poetic.
Editor, songwriter, and novelist. So we have writers, but what's a poet? Are they writing poems? Poetry Slam?
There you go,
okay,
man.
so he was on HBO's Def Poetry Slam in 2005, but
I bet it's sick too. I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't take in like stand-up is this form of art that I enjoy so much, and I have so many friends that do it, and I watch their stuff and I'm on shows with them. But and I watch some stuff on social media, but I really do.
I'm about to ask you the most hack question everybody asks comedians, but it really does interest me. Okay.
Hit me.
Who's your guys?
It shifts. Norm McDonald.
Okay. One of the goats.
He kind of passed up. He kind of went further up even now, like I'm still finding stuff of his from his like podcast and stuff.
He died the most Norm Macdonald way.
I know
that you could, you know.
Yeah. But then Hedberg.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mitch Hedberg. And then Pryor. And I'll tell you this too, man. Honestly, like a big influence on me was a lot of those like. So when I was coming up, like watching like Comic View comics,
okay.
So like Jamie Foxx, Eddie Murphy, Chris Tucker, Earthquake.
Earthquake's fire. Earthquake has not gotten the fucking. Dude, he does not get the respect he deserves.
Dude, I watched Earthquake do a headline set at Nate Jackson's, and they talk about like there's these metrics they use when like the higher ups are looking at comedy specials, and Earthquake's comedy special has the most laughs per minute.
No shit.
Any comedy special released in like the last 5 years or some shit like that. Like dude, it's crazy, dude.
I saw him on something recently. He wasn't even doing. Yeah. He was like in the crowd or something, but he's looking old, man. I was like, God damn, he's getting up there, bro. Do you remember Earthquake, Booyah?
Dude. No, I heard about Earthquake through.
Somebody's coming over to my house.
Uh-oh. You got the ops. The ops are showing up, dude.
We're getting ready for stuff. Oh, my God.
All right.
Yeah, there's things going on.
All right. You good to get to these questions?
Yeah, let's do these questions, man. Okay. I'm going to go.
Give us your plugs real quick, and let's hit the questions. Okay. Yeah, where can people find you, dude? This will be out next week.
Find me in church, worshiping our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. No, if you're into Jesus, that's cool. Whatever, do it if you want.
I'm into Jesus.
Sam Miller Comedy on Facebook, Sam Miller Comedian on Instagram, Sam Miller Comedy on TikTok, SamMillerComedy.com.
Dude, that's was it social symmetry, dude? You fucking they can find you the same shit everywhere.
Wait, did I did comedian Sam Miller on Instagram? I can't remember. I always get a mixed up. Like you know when comedian. No, it's Sam Miller Comedian. Yeah. Sam Miller Comedian. And then so there is I try to put my schedule out in different ways as much as possible, but I'm still working stuff out. So Maine and New Hampshire at the beginning of September. I got a lot of Northwest stuff in August. Making a run down to Northern California. So
didn't you tease something in Houston? I could have swore I saw that.
I am going to
You better fucking come down here, bro. I want to see you.
Yeah. Where are you going to be in Northern California?
I'm going to be in Oakland, I think. At something. There's a place that I'll be at.
There's a place in a building.
I'll check the schedule.
I'll be at AM, PM down there. I'll be getting some hard-boiled eggs and a banana because I'm trying to change my life.
Get that potassium in you. Booyah. Where can people find you,
and then
brother?
Also, my podcast is called The Tarp Report with Sam and Jess, with my good friend and fellow comedian Jess Anderson.
And theirs looks way nicer than this one. Looks well. You also have the opportunity to be in the same room with your people. So yeah, that's nice. Yeah,
this looks good.
But Booyah, where can people find you, brother?
Booyah's BBQ on everything.
Social symmetry. You gotta love it. Gotta fucking love it. All right. Here's the meat and potatoes of the show right here. Rage and pillage questions. Rage meaning party, pillage meaning stealing. Sam, what is the best party story you have that won't get you in trouble today?
I've told this story a few times on a couple other podcasts, but actually no, I'll tell. Let me tell this other one. I got a lot. Me and my friend Reed were drinking in downtown Olympia one time. He was a New York guy. I don't know why that's important, but it seems important. And we were downtown at this bar called the East Side Club in downtown Olympia. And it was getting towards the end of the night, and we decided that we wanted to go smoke a joint in like this beautiful place. And so we went to Priest Point Park, which is now called, I think it's called Salish Park now. But we go out to Priest Point Park, as it was known, to smoke a joint. I was very drunk. Don't really remember this. I know what Reed said is he said that we're on our way down there. I had some weed and we had forgotten papers. And he goes, Sam, stay here. I have to go get some papers. And when Reed came back, all he saw, so this is a park. So we live in Olympia's in the very southern tip of Puget Sound. And there's a lot of tidal movement, and it's just a lot of mud. We have like a lot of mud flats, just because there's just a lot of sediment, a lot of decaying matter. It's just these rivers come in here. It's like the butthole of Puget Sound. And anyway, Reed said all he saw was these tracks kind of going out into the mud, and that he yelled for me, and he couldn't find me, and he's just like, Sam, here he goes again.
Here,
anyway,
again, like this is known. This is what you do.
Yeah. I had a reputation for disappearing and appearing. I came to, and I was curled up. I was in a garage, right? Just on a garage floor. And do you know those black covers people put on their barbecues? Yeah. With like the felt inside? I was curled up in one of those barbecue covers in this garage.
Those little insulator things, Yeah.
And I was naked from the waist down.
Hell yeah.
In this garage. And I had like mud up to my chest. And what I was thinking, I was like, why'd these people make me sleep in their garage? Like, what kind of party was I at? These guys are assholes.
In my head, I'm thinking, you're the only person. Wait, is there quicksand in Washington?
It's dangerous, man. People
God damn it. That's where the quicksand is. My whole life, I was raised thinking quicksand's fucking everywhere because of movies. Y'all have it.
See, I went werewolf.
But anyway, I look in the garage and I see one of those like ridiculous, those H2s, those Hummer H2s. Yeah. And I was like, this was like probably like 2004 or something. I was like, none of my friends have one of those, you know? Like, what the hell? And then I was like, something doesn't add up. And then I looked over and the door was off the hinges. So,
no.
And so what had happened is I had wandered down the beach, and eventually there was a house, and I had like crawled out of the mud and kicked the door down to this garage.
Holy shit.
Passed out in their garage. And so I woke up and I was like, oh no, like I made a mistake. And I found a pair of Helly Hansen like rain pants, and I put those on, and they were in the garage. And then I went out to the street and I hitchhiked. This is when I was living in a barn. And I hitchhiked back to the west side of Olympia, back to the barn where my friend Reed was. And I didn't tell anybody what happened for a long time. So,
yeah.
See, you fucking Incredible Hulk that goddamn door off and said, me need sleep. Me need sleep.
That could have gone way worse. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it really could have.
That's fucking awesome. All right, Pillage, dude. Everybody's stolen something, whether it's chapstick out of your mom's purse or you fucking, you robbed a bank. What's something that you can tell us on this show?
I was talking to some friends of mine about this the other day. I do not want it. I'm going to talk about a time I tried to steal something.
Okay.
I used to shoplift all the time, and I've stolen lots of stuff, and I feel kind of weird about it. But
oh, dude, this whole show is based off of how much I love stealing. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, you're good to go. I steal constantly. I'm 38 years old.
So I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna say his name on the podcast, but me and my friend tried to steal one of those semi trucks with all the cars on the back one time.
Oh no!
Yeah, score, dude.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's the big score.
We even got it. Like he got it started. But he didn't know how to drive a semi truck. There was too many like gears and stuff. But what was funny is that we didn't realize this, right? So like all those cars on the back of those semi trucks, like they're chained down or whatever, and you can't get them off of there because you have to we don't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
But they all have the keys in them.
How old were you roughly?
Probably 18.
Nice. Okay. All right. Continue.
Yeah. So all those cars have the keys in them. And what we did, like in lieu of stealing them, we thought it was really funny. We got in all the cars. We started them all. We turned all the radios to this station we all thought was stupid called Mix 106. We turned all the stations to Mix 106.1. And we opened all the doors to all the cars. We turned all the radios all the way up. And then we just got the fuck out. Like we started skateboarding down the road, and there was like these 12 cars with all their doors open, all the radios going as high as they could to the same station.
That's fucking funny.
And I shit you not, man. We were like 2 or 3 miles away. We could still hear that.
No shit.
It was so loud.
That's fucking funny.
So it went from like, hey, let's do the biggest score of our lives to, hey, let's just do this awesome prank.
Yeah.
Like, let's just pivot.
You went from Vin Diesel to fucking just it's a prank, dude. It's just a prank.
Dude, I got heavy into like Home Depot return scams and shit like that back in the day.
Wait, hold on. How'd you do it? Was it like you find a receipt? You do the receipt in the parking lot?
Thousands and thousands of dollars. Just doing returns and getting store credit. It was you could get stuff in the store and act like you were returning it, even though you had never bought it. Say you forgot the receipt. A friend of mine got an air compressor that was on display out front, chopped the cable, pushed it into the store, said he was returning it. People just didn't pay attention.
That's hilarious. Well, yeah, they're all 17-year-old high schoolers. You know?
They were so busy. They were so busy watching for regular shoplifting. They were watching stuff coming out. They weren't watching the stuff coming in.
Oh, dude.
But then they got hip. They got hip to it.
You're making me want to start doing that. Jesus.
Yeah, it was sick.
I gotta stop just stealing.
We broke into a Rite Aid that was under construction.
Break that down for us. Well, hey, hold on. What's the bonus story? You mentioned a bonus story earlier. Which one was it?
I can't remember now.
Oh, Jesus. It's that seltzer you're drinking.
Yeah, that's what it is. It sets me up. But yeah, it was weird. I'll close with this one, man, because like we broke into a Rite Aid. We were all like really high on acid, right? And we broke into this Rite Aid that they were building. And we weren't really trying to steal shit. We were just bored.
Yeah.
And like, and the whole out, like, you know, when they're building a store or whatever, and they have that Viz Queen and there's like scaffolding, and then they were painting. So there's like Viz Queen all around the outside, and there's like the scaffolding, and like, we were like pretending we were in like this crazy tree house and like peeking out and stuff and like just really high. And then all of a sudden that Viz Queen, right, just starts flashing red and blue, right? And we're like, oh shit, cops, you know, and I'd been to jail on mushrooms and it fucking sucked. So I was like, I don't want to deal with this shit again. And like, so we're like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And we're like Tarzaning down this scaffolding, trying to get out the Viz Queen, right? And finally we go out. And this whole time, and then we realized like the cop was already like a half mile down the road. He was just going doing some other shit. But because of the Viz Queen though, it made it like really bright.
That's fucking awesome.
Probably the LSD had a lot.
That's one I've never tried. I just recently found mushrooms, and they're pretty awesome. But I haven't messed with LSD or anything like that. Dude, thank you so much for being on. This has been a fucking blast.
Yeah, you guys are cool, man. I thought this went well, man. I appreciate you guys. And anytime anybody likes the kind of stuff I'm doing on stage, usually that means they're good by me. And I can't wait. I'll see you, Burley, when I'm in Houston. And Booyah, you'll have to come out when I'm down in the Bay, man. That'd be cool.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm near there. I'm like 45 minutes away from Oakland, so I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, make it happen.
You should go because I'm 12 hours away from Oakland and I'm gone. So.
Right? That'd be fucked up if I didn't. Right? It's like,
yeah, right. Come on, man. I'm driving all day. You know?
Hell yeah! Well, thanks, guys. This has been a fucking blast. Everybody else, see y'all next Tuesday.
Yeah. Bye.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Dude.